back to Fan Talk and Weekly Wire.
Weekly Wire news and box office.
Yep, and what's coming out soon. Let's just start with the box office, shall we?
Okay.
A slight correction from last week. Last week we reported that the Joker had edged out Maleficent for #1 spot.
Yeah.
In a surprise re-upset. That was incorrect.
Okay.
Actually, it was the other way around by just a few $1,000s. When the actuals came out, let me back up. I get a lot of my information from boxofficemojo.com, who recently underwent a big redesign, put half their stuff behind a paywall, and took out a bunch of other stuff entirely. And it is upsetting a lot of people that do this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Also, the projections are out late Sunday and last through to Monday, and then the actuals come in later on Monday.
Yeah.
Box Office Mojo historically had always updated the second they were available. And that's why, we shoot this show usually a little later on Mondays, and I try and check that. They did not update it last week.
Yeah.
And so it didn't show that reverse until after we filmed and after I'd uploaded the video.
Until we already put
I have it in the comment section on that video.
Yeah.
But that is a correction. Box Office Mojo's fault. Hopefully they get their stuff together better this time. But
thrown under the bus.
yeah, exactly. #1 this last weekend was Terminator Dark Fate. Enjoying
its only moment.
Yeah, enjoying its brief moment in the sun. And please check out our review of this movie.
To be continued, yeah.
Yeah, probably not.
No.
$29 million opening, $123 million worldwide on $80 million budget. On this trajectory, absent something major, it is looking to lose $100+ million.
Yeah.
Just because marketing costs of some of those costs going back to the theaters, etc. Opened about 10-15 million soft here in the States, and also opened soft in China, which was what saved Genesis.
Yeah.
Was China, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen this time around again. Leave that sit there for a minute and check out our other video. #2, Joker again.
Yes.
Yep, it's
still rolling strong.
heading towards $1 billion worldwide.
$1 billion worldwide. Yeah. It'll make the mark.
Yeah, it's at 936 now.
Yeah.
So it's going to be only a 29% drop from last week. So it's playing like a drama, not a superhero movie.
Yeah, which makes total sense.
Our favorite Angelina Jolie sequel, #3, only a 32% drop, which is actually pretty good.
Yeah, and actually, we were kind of a little hard on it last week, but it's looking like it's kind of stretching out a little bit. So.
$385 million income on a $180 budget. So, so it's a little over double the budget, depending on marketing costs and some other factors. It's approaching profitability. But it's only been out a few weeks. It's probably going to be okay.
Yeah.
Disney's not going to go under.
Yeah. Thank God. Poor Disney.
Harriet opened to $11.6 million this last weekend.
Yeah.
The Harriet Tubman story. I think that's a solid for that kind of movie. It's very solid.
Yeah.
Because obviously this isn't a $180 million budget movie.
Right.
Addams Family rounding up the top 5.
Yeah.
Another solid outing for everyone's favorite family.
Yeah.
I find it funny how they're meant to be the oddball family, but it's a husband and wife and kids that all love each other.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But maybe that is the oddball thing.
In this day and age.
In this day and age, when you look at all the television that people like to watch, it's about dysfunctional and really weird families, and heaven forbid people all love each other and get along.
Another similar one is how crazy The Simpsons was when it first came out. Now it's regarded as a wholesome family TV show.
Yeah.
I'm going to skip ahead to the numbers 9 and 10 on the box office. We had #9, Motherless Brooklyn, with a $3.5 million opening. So this just a domestic only at this point. Hopefully it goes a little bit wider, picks up a bit more steam. Maybe award season will be kind to it, and it'll get another good bump at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm hearing some good things about that movie. #10, this is the one that I think was more of an ouch. On a $50 million-ish budget, Arctic Dogs, the animated. $2.9 million opening weekend.
I'm not surprised.
They didn't really market it.
No, I had until you brought it up last week. I was just like, I didn't see a preview. I hadn't seen anything.
It looks cute, but they didn't market it. I mean, this is the kind of thing you saturate McDonald's Happy Meals with.
Yeah.
So, open #10. Doesn't look too good for them. Looking into the future, to this coming Friday, we have Midway, about that little skirmish in World War II.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to that.
I'm super stoked about that one.
Roland Emmerich film of Independence Day fame. So he knows how to make an action flick.
Yeah.
And it looks to be better than Pearl Harbor, which I almost decided to choose for my Throwback Thursday, but decided against it. We also have Last Christmas, Emilia Clarke movie, romantic comedy coming out. Looks to have a pretty good buzz and looks to be a solid Christmas romantic comedy. Christmas movies are hit and miss generally, and so are these last couple of years, especially romantic comedies. But this one actually seems like it has the word of mouth building behind it.
Yeah, it kind of has a little bit going for it. It looks like it might actually reach audiences. So.
Yeah. And last but not least, Playing with Fire with John Cena. Have you seen the trailer for that one?
I have not, actually.
He's they're him, Keegan Michael Key, and John Leguizamo are forest firefighters and have to take care of like 3 little girls they come across.
Actually, I take it back. No, I did see that trailer. I did see that, yeah.
It looked like another pacifier, tooth fairy kind of, action star in a kids comedy kind of movie. Mm-hmm. We'll see. We'll meet at big awards. So it might be fun. It might be something for families to turn out to.
Well, there's a lot of films like that have come out recently that I've watched. Like Fighting with the Family, that was actually kind of a fun film. There's a lot of films like that that are coming out that they might not do huge in the box office, but but back in the day when there were like rental stores and people rented a lot, they still pick up a lot of money that way.
It's not come through on streaming.
Now it's
money.
Streaming and DVD sales.
Yeah, so. And it might be fun anyway. You never know. And also Dr. Sleep. The Stephen King Shining sequel.
Yeah, Shining sequel. I'm looking forward to that
one. With Ian McGregor.
Yeah, I actually I haven't read the book, and so I watched the preview. I watched the preview, and the first preview I was like really thinking it was going to be more of a creepy Shining tale, but after seeing the second preview that's come out, it actually looks more almost action-esque. If basically Ewan McGregor is playing the boy who is now trying to help a girl by taking her back there to help protect her against these evil people who are basically hunting down people that have magic abilities. And I mean, it looks like a lot of fun, and I love Ewan McGregor, so I feel like it can't be that bad.
Hello there.
Well,
that's it for the movies coming out soon. That will tide us over until The Frozen comes out later this month.
Yeah. Well, going into a little bit of news, there's a lot of stuff out this week, just like little tidbits. First off, we'll start with Fantastic Beasts, so where to find them.
Have they found them yet? They
found them, and they're actually, the third iteration of the film is just going to be starting to shoot film in June, and they're going to be filming in Brazil. So the movie actually has finally started filming, and we are going to get the next part of that.
So the Fantastic Beasts are getting Brazilians.
They're getting Brazilians. And then, of course, Sandra Bullock has signed on to be in a new thriller on Netflix after her fame from Bird Box.
Okay.
And this one is actually, it's based on a book called Unforgiven that they've tried to incorporate into film several times. It's about a woman who did 15 years for killing 2 policemen, and now she's out, and things that are going on with her life. They haven't titled it yet because nobody wants to use the word Unforgiven because that would be in direct competition with Clint Eastwood's classic.
I was going to say, is there any connection
nobody
to that?
wants to mess with that. That's a work of art. So the title hasn't been picked yet, but Sandra Bullock will be starring in it.
Wasn't there a Metallica song named that too?
Yes.
Okay.
And let's talk a little bit about Dark Fate for a second. We are going to be having our review out, and you guys will be able to watch a little more about that. But recent numbers are saying it's looking to lose $120 million. $120 million.
Luckily for the studios involved, 3 studios co-financed this film: Disney, Paramount, and I think Tencent.
Yeah.
No, they did the international release. There's one other one though. So with each of them doing about a third. So at least it's being split between studios, not Paramount taking the entire hit.
Yeah, but definitely not what Cameron and fans were hoping for.
Yeah, not the Schwarzenegger comeback vehicle.
No, definitely not. One thing I'm kind of excited about is my man, old Ant-Man, has been often given people down on Ant-Man for some reason.
Yeah.
And I don't understand it because I loved that movie. I loved the character. And it was looking like we weren't going to see a part 3. But we are, in fact, going to see a part 3.
People keep thinking he's the small part of the MCU.
Yeah.
And he gets, his adventures keep getting downsized. And I can keep going on this for a while.
Keep going on. No, but
I mean, they don't have to be the billion-dollar hits or the world saving. He has this nice little niche of, they have the little local problems or little personal problems that he has to get involved in and solve. It doesn't have to be this massive thing. Each of his movies, were definitely a little lower key on the stakes involved, but they're fun movies.
Yeah.
They're snack-sized Marvel.
Well, it's going to start filming in 2021. And then going right on with superhero movies, the Spider-Verse 2 series is going to be coming out in 2022, which kind of surprised people. People think it's come out a lot quicker than what
takes a while to draw stuff.
Yeah, they're expecting it may take a little bit longer, but Sony's got the way of doing that now, and they're
they greenlit the second, the other one did well.
Oh yeah, the second that did well, but I mean, people still thought that, especially with just everything going on with Spider-Man in recent days, it might take a little bit more time for this to come out. But
once again, it takes a while to draw stuff.
Yeah, they're just jumping right ahead to it. The other bit of news I thought was kind of interesting is the going on to Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones, everybody knows that it had picked up to do 2 different series spin-offs. And both
Targaryen, and then also the
House of Dragons.
The distant prequel one.
Yeah, and the House of Dragons, I think, is the more recent one, and the one that's way in the future, past.
Like only a couple hundred years.
Yeah, was the one. I think it's called House Targaryen. That one, and they have finished a pilot for. It has tested poorly. Now, let's just be honest. When Game of Thrones came out, it tested poorly, and it, of course, ended up becoming the phenomenon that it is. So it's not that big a surprise that this one would do the same.
One thing I did hear about this show is that in order to be based upon the actual book side of it, the Targaryens were very bad about incest. Like, every single member of the family is involved in it.
Yeah.
And I heard some of the people involved with it saying, it's going to have a lot of that, and we're going to try and figure out how to balance it out. That could be a reason why it tested poorly. If it's just, it's one thing to show brother and sister, out of a huge cast, doing this thing every once in a while, like Cersei and brother, but having multiple main cast members that are meant to be protagonists engaging in it, that's a hard sell.
Yeah, it can be. But regardless, there is a lot of drama apparently, and the pilot has not been picked up. So HBO does plan on airing the pilot, but that's going to be it. It's going to be one shot.
I might as well make some money off that.
Yeah, and the second series, however, the House of Dragons, they didn't even do a pilot, and HBO has picked up the 10 episodes, but we don't know if it's going to go much beyond those 10 episodes. So the Game of Thrones future is not looking too bright right now, but like they say, in all the death, there's often life. So in the death of this one prequel series, we might see the life of this other, just depending on how well it does once HBO starts to air it.
Yeah.
But right now, and the other that I read about is old Ryan Johnson. Ryan Johnson has announced all these people after his head for the Star Wars debacle, has said that Disney still has the utmost faith in him, and that he has not been pulled from the Disney trilogy that supposedly the Star Wars trilogy supposedly he might be linked to in the future, and he said that he still has a future with Disney, and that he's saying this based on the fact that nobody's talked to him or said anything bad, and if there's something that was going to be done, then they'd be talking about it already. I have a bit of disagreement on that. I feel like his days at Disney might not be done, but I don't see them turning over a brand new trilogy to somebody who tore up a series as a franchise as much as he did.
Yeah, and also you don't come out and say, yeah, actually we don't like him, we're going to give him the boot. You say everything's fine, sweep under the rug, and then quietly cut ties.
Cut ties, exactly, and then you move on, and you find somebody. When it comes to that point, where it's time to start you make an announcement, you're going to go into the different direction. And right now, the CEO of Disney has already come out and said, hey, I don't have any problem with Star Wars. I think it's doing fine, but we are going to roll it back a little bit and slow it down a little bit. And so, to me, that says we're going to take
we
some
screwed
time,
up and we're going to try and
we're
fix
going
it.
to fix it. And if I was Ryan Johnson, I wouldn't be counting my chickens.
Yeah.
Just definitely wouldn't be counting all those chickens before it's hatched. A little bit of news about Roland Emmerich came out saying that he blames Will Smith and, of course, also Suicide Squad for his last film not doing so well. What do you feel about that?
One, my first thought is, doesn't he have a movie coming out in 4 days?
Yeah, he does.
So that's marketing for you. We haven't heard about this in years, and so just now, really?
Yeah.
Timing, guys.
That
being said, at first it sounds completely passing the buck, whatever, wah, wah, wah. You might have a point. What's your theory on that?
My theory
Which you sold me on when you
my theory is this. The writing on it was bad, but I will say this. I feel like if Will Smith would have chose to do Resurgence instead of Suicide Squad, then I feel like they wouldn't have had to change the script because originally it was wrote for him. I think that we would have saw a different president in that film. I think Jeff Goldblum, the president, and him would have had a lot more interaction.
You have Pullman in a different kind of role.
Yeah, we wouldn't have had this film where it's just about everybody's kids. It would be about these original characters coming back to save the world, and I think that it would have been a totally different movie, and I think that even if it wasn't fantastic, we would still ended up with a much better film that original fans would have went and saw. I think it would have done a lot better.
Do you think he would have pulled Jaden into it?
It's possible.
I mean, could have, right?
But I can tell you this, I would have done a lot better, so he's not wholly wrong.
And on the flip side...
And the flip side of that, yeah, is I think that we would have had a better Suicide Squad. I didn't like Suicide Squad
Not because necessarily Will Smith was bad in it.
No,
it's because
not at all.
There was a lot going on, and they would have, obviously him being in it and him being an A-list star, they're going to have to flesh out his character more. They could have scaled that character back a bit and made it more of a...
Yeah, Deadshot, in my opinion, was not as big a character. I think that they made it a bigger character because it was Will Smith acting in that role. So exactly, I think it would have fallen more onto the Harley Quinn character, possibly another character, and the movie might have actually hashed out and been done better. And definitely wouldn't have been worse. And that's no disrespect to Will Smith. I'm just saying that I feel like both those films might have hashed out better with a different decision.
Yeah, we're not blaming him for the space beam.
No. No, space beams are just, well, I mean, that's a big thing. Space beams. They're in virtually every movie. That's a
poor crutch to lean on in movies now.
Oh, speaking of this actually, I wasn't going to talk about, but I'm going to now because we brought up space beams. Have you seen all the stuff Momoa's been saying?
About what?
Okay, he's been going on and on about the release of the Justice League film. And apparently, Zack Snyder did the film, and he got all the credit for it, but Josh Whedon actually was the one that did all the editing. And so the final version of the film, even though Zack Snyder got credit for it, it really wasn't his film. It was Josh Whedon's.
So there might be a Snyder cut of that?
And there is a Snyder cut.
That's right, there is.
And there is a Snyder cut, and Momoa is saying that it's basically a totally different movie, and he is very, very verbal to the point where he's like, I'm probably going to get fired because I keep going on about this, but it's a totally different movie. It's been 2 years. We need to see this movie. Fans need to see this movie. And so he's been going, like, really pushing it, and it's picking up a lot of steam. Like, if you almost can't go on the internet and type in Momoa or Justice League without somebody talking about the Snyder Cut and how fans want to see it, and basically how it is a totally different film. It kind of chases more about the Superman being unhinged. There's a little bit more with Lex Luthor. It's just like a totally different film, and apparently a lot better film. And I mean, me, who I was not a fan of the Justice League film, I'm kind of interested now.
I am too. It's kind of like the Superman 2 is a completely different film with the different cut.
Yeah, the Donner cut.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, it's like totally different film. So, there's no telling. A lot of people don't realize this. We talk about this a lot when you're making films, that, there's a lot that goes into making a movie, and when you make cuts, you can create a whole different movie. Rambo.
Tone, atmosphere,
yeah.
The whole storyline.
Yeah, Rambo is a crazy example of that. There's like 3.5, 4 hours of footage, and the original cut, literally Sylvester Stallone was like, I'll buy it from you to burn it. This is going to ruin my career. Then they went back in, recut it, created a totally different film, which we all know and love.
Yeah.
So this happens all the time. Star Wars, there's a lot of recuts that happen. These things happen, and you end up, Solo, you end up totally different movies, folks. So how a movie's pieced together really affects the movie you end up with. And the director controls that. So there is a high probability that it's a completely different film, and so I'm kind of interested in it. But that's pretty much most of what I got for the news.
I got a couple follow-up things on there.
Okay.
Irishman, 8 theaters selling out.
8.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's gonna look good on the per theater average.
Yeah. Well,
so unless you're in LA and New York, you're not going to see it until it comes out on Netflix.
Yeah. Netflix has been a little irritated about that whole debacle. I mean, they feel like this is one of those things that should just came straight out to Netflix.
But it doesn't qualify for award season.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I'm hearing good things about the movie. I can't wait to see it.
I can't wait to see it. I'm excited. I like how Joe Pesci...
I'm not in LA or New York, so I got to wait.
Joe Pesci came back, and like how he really didn't want to do it, and they had to talk him into it. What? He didn't like it. He's retired.
Yeah.
And something interesting, since we brought that up, Scorsese. Did you hear about his comment about the Joker?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Scorsese, I don't know if you know this, he was actually tied to the Joker and had his hand in it a little bit, and he ended up walking away.
Made the news a week or two ago about trashing comic book movies.
He's been trashing comic book movies ever since, and everybody's like, well, why did you walk away from the Joker? And his statement was, I just wasn't sure I was a good fit. Really? You don't think you're a good fit? You hate superhero movies. You hate anything that has to do with them. You said it's not cinema. And I think, my theory is this. I think he walked away, okay, because of, he also said scheduling and stuff. And I think,
that's what you always say.
Yeah, but I think he walked away from the film because he was going to do The Irishman. I think he had some other stuff he wanted to do. This movie was huge. And now Scorsese can't be the one that says, oh, I went in with this small budget and made this huge, amazing, and so it's not all on him. And I think his whole bashing superhero movies thing is more about him walking away from the Joker than it is anything else.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. That's the opinion piece, folks.
Flash 3, no, not yet.
Not yet.
That's
Get
a Flash
ahead of yourself.
Flash
forward.
Yeah. Flash is still officially on board to be made a movie, so I'm looking forward to that. And catching up on the TV series, so I'm actually really getting into it.
Like some of that I get butthurt about because, like, for instance, like I would say the two that I am most butthurt about would be Daredevil and Flash. Because I like the character and the actor that plays the Flash in the TV series. I don't want to see a movie with another actor other than him. And I don't want to see a Daredevil done in the Marvel MCU that isn't my Netflix Daredevil. He is fantastic. He's amazing. I love the actor. He's done a great job with it. And
makes you forget about Ben Affleck doing.
Yeah, it's
not that it's necessarily his fault, just as a bad made movie.
Yeah, but no. Anyways, yeah, like, I'm glad they're gonna make a Flash movie, but I mean, I wasn't super stoked about the character. They didn't hash him out real well in Justice League, so him and Cyborg were kind of little side notes in that film. And if they're going to want to make these whole films about him, I hope they do, and I hope it's done well so you get that love for him, because you don't really have that love and admiration for him from Justice League.
Just a quick side note, I heard Kevin Smith talking one time. He went to the Daredevil, I think, premiere opening with Stan Lee, and asked him, and I hope I don't get this wrong, asked him, like, well, what did you think about it? And Stan Lee said, well, apparently a lot more than they did. It's kind of some low-key shade. Anywho. Mjolnir. Did you hear about that news?
Yeah, I heard about it, and it's funny, and
I don't have a problem with it.
I don't have a problem. Well, let's put it this way: if this is the biggest mistake they've made in the Marvel Universe, they're doing okay.
If you're gonna nitpick that, but not time travel.
Yeah.
But in case you haven't heard, one of the people involved with Endgame has said, like, there's a kind of basically continuity issue with Captain America being able to use Mjolnir, and
it wasn't that he could use it; it wasn't that he wasn't worthy.
But he was using lightning with it, which. Thor is the god of lightning, not god of hammers. Mjolnir doesn't call lightning; it channels it.
Yeah.
So unless the only really around that is Thor was remotely helping him out.
Yeah. Which we could just say that, but even they came out and they're like, you know what? We thought it was cool. We just went through it.
Yeah, that was their. I'm glad they did that.
It took this long for somebody to bring it up, and they're like, man, we thought we were going to get called out a lot sooner.
So close.
Yeah, so close. Almost snuck it by you. No, but yeah, and obviously, Captain America could wield Mjolnir, but he wouldn't be able to call lightning.
Right.
But again, as funny me being as huge a Marvel nerd as I am, I didn't even really catch it until I read it, and I'm like, they're right. Oh my god. But. Anyways,
all right.
Small news.
That's the news.
That's the news. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and tune in later this week because we're going to be doing our review on Dark Fate and watching Watchmen.
And Throwback Thursday.
Yeah, and coming soon, Top 10. Top 10! It's going to be fantastic.
Wait for the Top 10.
It's going to be the most fantastic Top 10 show ever. Had to.
All right.
Had to.